Hi everyone, we are live and just waiting for Sapna to come online and we'll start our conversation with her. Please bear with us.
Hello.
Hi Sapna, how are you?
Hi. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
Great. Yeah, I'm good. I'm very good and I'm so excited for this live. Let me just ensure that we are set in on Facebook. Just give me one moment
Sure.
and then we can start talking. Just one second.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we're all set. So, this is something I've been
Okay.
wanting to do for a very, very long time. And to tell you all, Sapna is a very dear friend, and our basis of friendship has been motherhood
Right.
and everything to do with motherhood.
Yes.
And she is a
Right.
very dear friend from that bond. We've always wanted to kind of work together, may it be anything, but we somehow just touch base and keep contributing to each other's lives. So Sapna is a very compassionate and well-known lactation consultant and counselor, and she has been changing lives ever since. And there have been many families that she has come across and helped them establish, breastfeeding from a very early, time. So, Sapna, welcome to Own Thea, and we are so glad to have you.
Thank you. Right.
So,
Thank you so
Sapna,
much for
yeah,
having me.
it's a pleasure. So, Sapna, I remember the first time I met you. It was at this hospital where we were doing an awareness. It was called a Latch On campaign,
Yes.
and all
Yes.
us mothers, we all had babies of 1 year or some, less, and
Almost.
we all.
Yes. Yes.
Just give me 1 second, just 1 minute. Bhavin? Yeah, sorry, there's just a little bit
No
of
problem.
disturbance. So, so I remember that at that event we were promoting. We all took this opportunity to latch our babies at the same time across the globe, right? And that
Yes.
was the first time
Yes.
that I met you. And all I remember is a very compassionate lady and a lady with a big heart and the most coolest of all. And that's how I connected with you. And it still stays the same. You are still the same, and it's an honor to be to have a friend like you too. So, Sapna, tell me something. How did this initiative on breastfeeding bonds begin, and what did you think about?
Okay. Firstly, thank you so much for all the words that you've used to, appreciate and praise. I'm very bad at taking compliments, but thank you so much. Um, So, about, it took a lot of time, over that. I mean, I think, all of us together was what kept, the whole thing about breastfeeding alive. There was Medha, there was Charu, Meena, you, and, I remember, we used to constantly keep working together all the time, and it was always breastfeeding at that time. I think it's also because all of us were feeding our children at that time. So it just, it just stayed back, and so over the course of time, I started a nursing brand on another name. And and then slowly I moved on to, I did my course to become a lactation counselor, because I realized that this is my calling, and this is what I want to do. And so that way, I did my course, and then I realized that I wanted to rebrand, my business, and that's how Breastfeeding Bound started. And I
Okay.
think I'm really, really glad, I took this move. I made this step. I took the step to become a lactation counselor, because I mean, I've been through so many jobs, and this has been the most satisfying. So yes, it's amazing to be around babies and new mommies. Yes.
Indeed. So, we all know that we should breastfeed our infants for at least 2 years of time. But most of the mothers, they are not able to carry on the breastfeeding journey, and they kind of leave it in between. Why do you think that happens,
Right.
and why is it such a struggle for everyone?
I think it's mainly because there's so much of lack of support. That's what I feel. Because the mothers now, when they look back to their family, probably their mothers or mother-in-laws, it's been such a long. Hi, I'm so sorry. I am. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Can you hear me? Yes. So I'm so sorry. I'm having network issues. Right.
Yeah.
So I was saying, I mean, it's the lack of support. There's not much information. There's so many myths surrounding, breastfeeding, making it so difficult to, navigate through all that information. Should I listen to my mother because she's experienced? Should I listen to my mother-in-law? Should I listen to another family member? Or should I just, listen to, or should I just go by the information? There's so much, and you don't know really what to do. So, I think the myths actually begin from the stage of pregnancy itself, where everybody tells you, what, breastfeeding is just, there's no problem, you should be able to, you should be able to breastfeed. There's nothing much to do. But honestly, as a counselor, I think that it's important that you take up a breastfeeding class. Not just her, but her husband as well. Take up a breastfeeding class. What are you going to look forward? What is going to happen, in the future? Not panicking. You Mothers are going through, because they don't know the importance of having the education, and then, how do you, apply it? Everything, every baby cries, you're like, oh my God, I can't do this, you know. But yeah, so I think that's where, all of it, and and constant, through the journey, when you're constantly listening to, non-research or non-evidence based information, so that's actually weighing down on you. And then and then the new mother is actually forced to, let go of her journey. So I think that is the reason why, you know, a lot of them let go of their journey. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. I remember when I was in my pregnancy, and I was me, and I could hardly read up anything. And it was surprising to me to reflect later on that very little information from the gynecologist or the doctors I had ever received, right? And it
Right.
was like when it happened, when the birth happened, and then you're like, okay, I didn't know this is also something I need to go through.
Right.
And then it's a series of struggle, because you need to really first, you are coping with the birth, your body is coping with the birth, and you are also coping with new
Right.
information and
Mm-hmm.
new experiences, and it
Right.
can be at times be a lot to take at that point in time. So for me it was
Right.
thankfully at that juncture I had a friend who had referred me to these wonderful support groups, and through
Right.
that my understanding kind of enhanced, and obviously we also got in touch with it through those uh, lack of information and awareness. And you have been doing a lot of work in this area, and I was also lucky to be part of this in the past, and this is required, and I think you are doing a great job in that, Sapna.
Right. Thank you so much. You know, when I started off, it's all of this has stemmed up from my own personal journey. Okay, because even when my baby was born, and when I was trying to breastfeed her, there was zero support from the immediate staff. I was in the I had a C-section, so immediately I was in the ICU for a few hours. So my mom used to get the baby there, and it's been a tried, like, okay, you need to stay on your back, you cannot turn, and my mother tried with how much
Yeah,
she could. And when I called the nurse, she was like,
yeah,
uh, screaming at my mom. She's like, how come you don't know all this? And that just pissed me off, because I'm like, okay, then all right, maybe my mother's supposed to know, but what is your job? Why aren't you helping? So I think that is where it just started off, and that's another reason why I work in hospitals also, because I feel if it's not fixed right in the beginning, okay, that is where the issues continue, right? And then they're struggling by the time they reach home. The struggles double. There's no sleep. The mother's hormones are all over the place. They don't know what to do. So that's why although it gets a little difficult to break through the policies of the hospital, I try my best with whatever little I can, and I ensure that the mothers and the babies are getting support right in the beginning. And that is so important, I feel, because that is also the point when I get the entire family together, like all those who are visiting or with the mother at that point of time, and I can actually
yeah,
give them, I spend close to minimum 1 hour, so I get a call from the hospital immediately after our mother has given birth. I visit the hospital, and then I am actually there for 1 hour. It's not only about the latch and the position. I give out as much information I can, just to ensure that everybody is on the, whether it's the mother, whether it's the mother-in-law, whoever it is, whoever is going to be the caretaker, throughout. So a lot of difference. That's what I've seen, because they're constantly asking more and more information, like some of them, because of age old traditions, they want to give, so that's the thing, and they come and they say, okay, it's
mm.
traditional, we need to give honey, at least a drop, or and then they actually show me, okay, I want to put this
Yeah,
much, and I'm like, I'm literally fighting. And I tell them, I
yeah,
said, see, I try my best. It's unfair to cause a lot of fear when the baby is just born. So then I try to tell them, it's not safe. The baby can get infections. Some people get it and they stop. Some people are really adamant, and then it becomes say, okay, you know what, it can cause botulism. Botulism leads to death. They find it very, very hard, to believe that you need you should exclusively breastfeed for the first 6 months. Okay, so that they find very difficult to, accept. They feel, okay, the breast milk is not enough. It's just water. Is this liquid? How is it going to fill the tummy? Did you, have any of those when the baby was born, when Vanshika was born? Did you go through anything?
Um, for me, I particularly did not feel there was a strong myth, but yes, we were, contemplating that, okay, whether I should continue to breastfeed only for 6 months, and then probably, we can find solutions to kind of wean her off, and then probably, if not 6 months, we can carry on for about 9 months. Because at that point in time, I did not have the knowledge that I have today. And luckily, at
Right.
the right time, the right information, I could tap into it, and due to that, I could, sustain a breastfeeding journey of over 3.5 years, which I'm really grateful to everyone who was part of, the journey. So yeah,
Right.
so I think for me specifically, it was more of lack of information in the beginning, and the
Mm-hmm.
myths as such.
Right.
Uh, I'm not able to recollect if we had any kind of myth around breastfeeding, but yes, but most of the time I've heard that people are not very aware about colostrum, and they feel that that needs to be first kind of not given to the baby because it is not milk. And this is a big myth that I know many people suffer from. So coming to myths, Sapna, the topic of today is myths. So I would like you to share with us the
Yes.
different kind of myths that you come across, because you deal with this every day, right? And you meet so many people. So what are the kind of
Almost.
myths that you you break every day?
It's so difficult, especially when you have to break through age-old traditions. It just gets, sometimes it's overwhelming, and I'm on the verge of, okay, do I really want to do this? Okay, being very honest, do I really need to do this? So, but then then it brings me down to, okay, do I want to do this for the mother and baby. That's why I'm here. So then,
Yeah.
then I'm like pushing, if when push comes to shove, fight, yes, I'm ready to do that as well.
Yeah.
So I think starting off with, I think even before colostrum, there are mothers who don't know that they need to breastfeed. Yes, it's true. uh, you know, uh, Mothers are like, okay, do I really need to breastfeed? Maybe I can just give formula. It's okay. See, I'm not putting formula fed babies down. It's a choice. If it's an
Yeah.
informed choice, amazing. I mean, there's no harm in it at all. But when the mother is uninformed and she has no idea that she needs to breastfeed, okay, this is because of lack of support. In tell her, then so that it begins there. So that's breaking myth number one. Okay, that no, you need to breastfeed. Your baby's main nutrition is breast milk for the first year.
Yeah.
After that, colostrum, I'm going to throw a little light on the golden hour, which is like the first hour immediately after birth. It is very, very important to feed the baby at that time, because colostrum is like the first vaccine. It comes with a lot of antibodies for the baby to fight any sort of infections when it's just immediately out of the environment. It helps in building the immunity system and so much more, right? And it also sets the path ahead, the breastfeeding journey. It sets it ahead, right? Apart from that, I think it's about, I know a tradition where, a culture where, mothers are not allowed to drink water for as long as they are breastfeeding. So if they're
Oh.
breastfeeding for 2 years, the mother is not supposed to drink water. It becomes so
But the
difficult.
breast
Like
milk is mostly water, isn't it? And it's such a contradictory
it
understanding.
is, yes. And imagine if the mother gets dehydrated because of that.
Yeah.
Okay, because she's not given water. And there's so many strict restrictions on the diet. I understand it's tradition, But I think we need to also understand that, in the end, we need to give the mother what she requires. It's not about tradition. It's about healing, and it's about being able to provide to your baby, right? So please, there is, when it comes to breastfeeding, there is no restriction for, diet or water, or, you can eat and
Right.
drink whatever you want to. If you see there is an effect on the baby, then you can maybe, start reducing it, bringing it down, or, or just stop that one particular item. You do not need to just, apply a blanket rule on everything, saying that, okay, you're not supposed to eat and drink all of these, till you're breastfeeding, right? So
True.
that is there. Then
True.
I think also positioning. The mothers are forced to sit down, plonk yourself on a chair, and, sit up straight like this. It's not comfortable for every mother.
Yeah, I
Okay,
remember in
sometimes,
my in my initial days, I was making it so tough for myself. I would just
right,
sit and feed, and I would be dead by the end of the day. Uh, that's such an important point, because the lack of understanding of these positions can make it very, very difficult for mothers to feed. So I think it's a
right.
great point that you're touching now.
Yes, yes. See, because, especially because I've also gone through it, like I said, all of this is coming from what I've experienced. So I used to, sitting up every night. I'll tell you how it actually plays on the mind, because through the day we are already so exhausted. Maybe some people don't get support, some people get support.
Yeah.
If not, you're working through the day, you're feeding, you're taking care of your baby, all of
Yeah.
that. And in the night, automatically your body wants to shut down, right? And it's worse when you find people around you sleeping. You want to throw pillows at them and like wake them up, like, how dare you sleep when I'm awake? Like, literally, I've done it. Like, I'm like, when my husband is snoring and I'm like, what, how can you sleep? Like, one pillow on his head. So
Yeah.
it's overwhelming. And at that time, when you're asking me, okay, what, just sit up, sit straight, and then,
Yeah.
and then feed, lift your baby. And that's not it. After that feed, when you place the baby down, the baby's like, yeah, hi, hello. Like, it's like that. So, and you're like, and you get so frustrated, and you end up removing that on journey. Breastfeed. I'm going to start one bottle of formula. Okay, and that is a whole
Hmm.
trap that sets in.
Yeah.
When the minute we start formula, that is a trap.
Yeah.
Okay, because see, I understand formula can be life safe. So if you need to give, you need to give. There's no way out of it. But this is, things that can be fixed must be fixed. It must be addressed. So if you, if you think, okay, you can't go on anymore, then you should just seek help. So if you think, sitting up every night just to feed the baby is not working, please lie down and feed. Okay, there
Yeah.
is no
Yeah.
harm in lying down and
Exactly.
feeding, because whatever position you are in, whether you're sitting, standing, walking, running, the baby is always in a sleeping position. So it really does not matter. Whether
Right.
you are sleeping or you're standing or whatever it is, there is no problem at all,
Right.
right? So, position, please focus on what is comfortable for you and your baby. That's all
Right.
that matters, nothing else, right?
Just
Then,
taking a
then,
pause, Sapna here. Just want
yes.
everyone who is watching us right now, who has any questions relating to breastfeeding, for yourself or relatives or friends, please feel free to drop in your questions in the comments, and we will take it as and when we can. Because this is an opportunity where you can clarify with an expert. So please make the most of it and drop in your questions. Yeah, please go ahead.
Right. Another myth that I would, touch upon is specifically pain. There is this during pregnancy, a lot of mothers are asked to, pull out their nipples, oil it, rub it, pull it out, because otherwise your baby will not be able to breastfeed, right? So, to all of them, I would like to say, please do not bother, because your baby is not nipple feeding, your baby is
Yeah.
breastfeeding,
Yes.
right?
So
So
even
it
this
is,
is not very clear to most mothers. right? The
Right.
way the baby should latch onto a mother, and this,
Right.
method. Yeah. So yeah, please carry on.
Right. So it's as simple as, so I'll just, demonstrate. See, is the nipple, right? For breast milk to come out, it's important for compression to happen at the breast. There's no compression at the nipple. It's so unless you get the areola inside the baby's mouth, there's no way there's milk going in. Okay, so you need to be doing this around the areola. It needs to press, and then the milk, comes into the baby's mouth. So what happens is, people end up nipple feeding because, oh, my mother-in-law, everybody asked me to, pull my nipple out, okay, and then I'm supposed to feed. So that stays back in their mind that it's nipple feeding because my mother-in-law had, or somebody, mother-in-law had asked me to do it, okay. And then when they start feeding, there are cuts, they
Yeah.
end up with sore nipples because the baby is struggling to remove milk, so it's going to constantly bite on those nipples, and then you end up with sore nipples. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to say, please, one, focus on a deep latch where you have maximum of the areola inside the baby's mouth. And in case you cannot, and if you think, there is some sort of pain, that you're facing, while breastfeeding, please there at that point in the hospital. Even when you get home, if you need help, please get it fixed. Okay, because there is no point in sitting through pain.
Yeah.
Baby is not going to get any milk just by, latching on. So sorry, I think I.
Yeah, I can hear you,
Can you
Sapna.
hear?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just getting
Yes.
calls, so it's just the network is getting off.
No problem. Yeah.
Yes, so any kind, with new, when they start feeding and, if there's pain, they're like, okay, you know what, it's my baby, I'm going to bear through this pain. And, I'm just going to sit, I'll stay, let my baby feed. But I want to say, great thought. It's worth it if the baby is getting something. If the anything, because nip does not give the baby any milk. So if that is the point, if that is the case, there's no point in sitting through the pain. Why should you sit through the pain if the baby is also not?
Hmm.
So that is definitely, something that I would like to throw light on, because so sore nipples, and I was crying when we came home night that we had to I constantly crying, I'm constantly crying, and and like it's like so it's overwhelming. Okay, and especially because I didn't do my homework, I didn't read up about breastfeeding, uh, out with it, but no, I was all lack of support, lack of, although the entire family is pro breastfeeding, no doubt, 200%. I could breastfeed for 3 years, but it's the small things. The beginning itself was a little difficult. Yeah. Tell me a little myths about, I've been talking for so long, Divya. Tell me about other myths that you have heard probably, which I could, non
Um,
not coming to your mind. How
I
long did you
think
breastfeed, Divya?
cholesterol is generally, which is which I was sharing with you earlier too. That 1 second being,
Yeah.
you know, you should not feed the baby just after having a lot of water, something like that. Also,
Because I drank water now.
there is, and then there was this where, the normal myth is that since breast milk is so light, right? The baby will still be hungry. So you need to top feed. So you need to kind of, give formula so that the baby cycle of demand is interrupted, right? And the mother starts
Yes.
making less milk, and then again it's a trap. So this is very common, and I've seen
Yeah,
most
I
of
think when you talk about that, I had a lot of okay, it was more like people will go and touch the baby's tummy and press and like, okay, it's not full, and I'm like, what do you mean it's not full, right? So
I see a big question come in, Sapna, and I think now would be a good time to take it. It's from
okay,
Rija. I'm a four
yeah.
months pregnant with my second child. In my first pregnancy, I couldn't feed because my baby just wouldn't latch on. I but it didn't use breast pump and feed him by bottle. So I wanted to know, is there any exercise or anything I can do to be well prepared so that my due baby will not face any issues?
Hi Rita, congratulations
You see
second
the
pregnancy.
question,
I'm so
Sapna?
excited for you. Rita is my schoolmate, so
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah. So, so Rita, I think what I would say is maybe look up some videos on how you can get not could be different issues. It could be maybe the position wasn't right. The baby was not maybe able to not. Uh, I would say the baby was not assisted enough to get a deep latch, and since the baby was not able to get enough milk, this is reason could be probably the baby had ties, a tongue tie or a lip tie, so it wasn't probably able to stay longer on the breast. So I would say all you need to do is probably look up, how you can get a deep latch. I can maybe, send you some information on that probably after this. So how would you get a deep latch? What different positions you can try? It's people think okay, you can just feed in a cradle hold. Okay, so please look up different positions. There's cross cradle, there's football, there's laid back. Sometimes some babies are comfortable
Yeah.
in certain positions. So just find something that works with you. If you still have troubles, after birth, I would say immediately try for the first day. If not, second day, definitely get help from a lactation consultant. Also, now that you're still in your stages of pregnancy, I would say talk to your doctor, find out if your current hospital has a lactation consultant, and maybe start discussing with them from right now. If you can meet your LC, start talking to them, tell them about what you had earlier, what was the concern earlier, and probably they can help you learn different positions from now itself, using a doll, or teach you positions, teach you latching. That can happen now. So even if they are not there when your baby is born, you can do it yourself because you have already learned it. I hope that helps, Rija.
Yeah, Rija, let us know if you need any more clarifications. We have Sapna with us for another half an hour. Um, there's another question by Bharati here. My baby
Mm-hmm.
sometimes cries during the night. My mom said, so I started taking more food. Though my baby is getting sufficient food, but I have put on a lot of weight. Please suggest some diet.
Okay. Bharti, can you quickly tell me how old is your baby right now? And then maybe I can give you some specific.
Bharti, if you can share how
Yes,
old
Rija,
is your
I'll send you.
baby?
So you have to know how much, there are three things that you need to keep in mind. Uh, oh,
Bharti
four
says,
months. Okay.
sorry, Sapnam, just baby is 4 months old. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the network just went off. You were saying something?
4 months old. 4 months old.
4 months, yes. See, for the first 6 months, we constantly say exclusively, breastfeed your baby. So how do you know if he's getting enough? Things that you need to look at. One is the pee and poop count. The babies, since your baby is 4 months, the baby should have more than 7 to 8 pees in 24 hours. The baby should be pooping every day. The baby should be alert and active whenever awake, and definitely baby should put on weight. So when I say put on weight, see, weight is a very debatable factor, because it depends on the genes of the parents. Okay, it's a lot of factors. You can't expect the baby to just put on weight and become chubby. But I would say the weight shouldn't be stagnant, and the weight shouldn't drop. Constant growth.
The
These are the
question,
signs that your baby is
yeah, the
getting enough
question
meat.
was, yeah, the question was more for her in terms of due to the kind of diet
Yes, so I
she
was just
was
getting to
having, she's
that.
gained a lot. Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to say, so don't overfeed yourself, okay, in the doubt that your baby is not getting enough. These are your signs that your baby is getting enough. Okay. So if your baby is on track, with these 3 points, then please do not overeat. There is no requirement to overeat. Okay. Also,
Yeah.
breast milk works on demand and supply. Okay. So the more the baby drinks, the baby will continue to help your body to make more milk. There is no need to overeat, overdrink anything, to cause an oversupply and then get your baby to drink, right? Mothers, please do not, even I've gone through this. I've eaten, I think, I don't know, I've eaten round the clock, literally. And it's, I mean, Bharti saying, even I've just, put on weight, so, and then it gets difficult to bring it down. Please continue to eat your normal meals, your breakfast, lunch, dinner. In between you want some snacks. Keep it healthy, keep it nutritious. Once in a while cheat meals don't matter. You want to have a pizza, you have a craving, please go have it. Have a chocolate, have your coffee, chai, whatever it is. There's no restriction whatsoever. So please, continue with whatever diet you were having before. Bharti, I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Sapna. There's one more question which is come in, which is from Priya.
Mhm.
She says, hello, I have a pre-existing diabetes and I'm 25 weeks along now and I'm under treatment for my diabetes. Would you be able to talk about how diabetes and breastfeeding are interconnected? My friend who breastfeeds hungry all the time. I'm alarmed about all the snacking in connection to my sugar levels.
Right. Um, uh, for your pregnancy. I would say yes. Breastfeeding does tend to keep you hungry, but like I've told Bharti, just focus on a nutritious diet, and also with diabetes, I believe you're asked to eat lesser portions, but at regular intervals. But cut down on your portions. So when you have those smaller portions, make sure they are healthy and filling. Okay, so then you're not eating throughout the day.
Yeah.
Drink, keep yourself hydrated, definitely. And stuff like nuts, binge eating and eating a lot of unhealthy stuff, yes, that could cause a problem with your diabetes. Also, uh, yeah, like just take nutritious food, and whatever you're allowed to eat it in a good portion. Yeah, enough to tackle the hunger.
Any
Right,
particular
I
tip
hope that's
for
helpful.
people with sugar, diabetes? Any particular thing that they should keep in mind for breastfeeding?
Nothing specific. They can, it's only,
Nothing
I would,
specific. So,
the only problem is you should not be taking any galactagogues. You're given galactagogues in the hospital to make milk and all of that. I'm sure, of course, your doctors would be aware of your diabetic condition, and then you will not need to. Then you don't need to. I mean, you don't need to take those medicines. Anyways, those medicines are not, helpful. I think they cause more harm. because, like I said, breast milk works on demand and supply, and when you add, that leads to, so that's the last thing you want to deal with. So please, stick to normal
Right.
diet, healthy diet, and breastfeed. Breastfeed as much as you can.
Great.
Right.
Nice. Very nice. Can
Interesting.
continue, and then we'll take questions as and when we have more. And there's one question on
Right.
which has just come in on how much exercise and walks can be done during breastfeeding, and can it be a normal, is there a limitation as such?
No, I would say just talk to your gynecologist, because it all depends on how your pregnancy went and how your birth went. Just talk to them about that, and I think you should be able to start with regular walks and regular exercises. See,
Yeah.
if the key is everything should be done in moderation, right? Let's not overdo anything, and there's always a way to go through it. Even if you start, even somebody who has not exercised for a long time and they want to start exercise, there is a way to do it. Like, you go slowly, step by step. You don't suddenly start walking 5 and 10 kilometers. That's just going to drain you out completely. So take it slow, and if your gynecologist gives you a go ahead, depending on your how your body has healed from birth, I think you're good to go. There's no problem. Take your baby along
Cool.
for your walks.
Yeah. I've been eyeing the earrings that you're wearing, and I'm just, am I thinking right? Sapna,
Yes,
are
those are
these the
Sia
earbuds
earrings.
that you're wearing?
These are the
Oh, it's so
yeah.
sweet of you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
what
wonderful.
else, Sapna? What else would you like to cover in
So
terms of else
so
that
myths.
people
I
should know
think
about breastfeeding?
right. So I think there's another myth. Actually, there's so many, but there's one where you had a bath. If you've just washed your hair, you're not supposed to feed your baby immediately after that. The baby is going to catch a cold. Okay, please. I don't know how many times my baby was made to cry before I could sit down and feed. Right. So yes, so that is definitely a myth. Please do not fall for it.
I remember when
There is, I mean,
one one tip that my doctor had given me, and I think, and that hospital was very pro breastfeeding, and that's why probably we also got the right kind of support when we needed it. She had
right.
said that don't look at the clock, and sometimes people have this thing in mind that you got to feed the baby every 2 hours, right?
Every 2 hours,
But there
yes.
will be instances where the baby has a growth spurt, and the
Yes.
baby wants to nurse, right?
Yeah,
And so what she had told me was that don't follow any clock, just follow the demand and the cry of the baby. And I think that
that's
was
true.
a great input.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's wonderful. If mothers are given this advice on day one, I think that sets the whole path,
Yeah.
because what happens is they are told that, okay, feed every 2 hours. Okay, see, while in the initial days, okay, it is important to feed within 2 hours. Okay, because some babies tend to sleep a little longer. In the first in the third or the fourth day, the baby loses weight. Okay, so close to 7 to 10% a baby loses weight. Now it is important for the baby to gain back the birth weight within 14 days. Okay,
Okay.
by the 14th day of from its 14th day of life, it is important that baby goes back to the birth weight. So which is why they say feed every 2 hours. But that does not mean you're not supposed to feed before that. It just means don't cross it for till your baby gains birth weight, and after that you continue to feed on demand. So irrespective, I would say, just like you, the advice that you got, just feed on demand. If your baby is asked for a feed after 5 minutes, feed after half an hour, feed after 3 hours, also feed.
In
Okay,
fact, I think for
so
me, me and my daughter, this particular thing was something that I followed to the T, and demand. I mean, if she wanted to feed, and we would feed. So I think we never had a weight issue with her, and we never had
Hmm.
a growth. There are certain milestones to guide you. Of course, there these are not very set standards or anything like that. It's just a guidance.
Right.
And we were always very content with the milestones that she was achieving. And I
Right.
have always credited this to breastfeeding, because without that, I think we wouldn't be able to. I don't see how we would be able to do that. So I think
Right. Right.
for the overall milestones and the growth of the baby, I think breastfeeding does a wonderful job.
It does. It definitely does. But I would also say that every baby is different.
Yes,
Some crawl at 6 months, some crawl at 10 months. So I would say,
right.
don't let that get to your head. Follow your baby. When in doubt, always seek help, whether it's breastfeeding or anything else related to your baby.
Yeah. In
Don't
fact, my
just sit
daughter,
on
I
it
think
like,
she started walking after her first year, the birthday. After the first birthday, then she
right,
started walking. And but by
right,
milestones, what I meant was, the weight gain and the parameters of
right.
height and all that. Uh, the overall growth, right, was something which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
very in line. Yeah.
Right, right. That's amazing. I mean, yes, they see, I mean, definitely, I will not deny that breastfeeding has a lot of benefits, whether you're feeding for 6 months, whether you feed for even one drop, if you're giving, it's amazing. Whether you feed, I know a lot of mothers who have fed for 7 years, 8 years, I think they are amazing. So wherever you fall, whichever on that spectrum, whether you are one drop or whether you're 7 years, I think all mothers are amazing, right? Because it helps, there's no
Yes.
two ways about it, right?
Yeah.
I think we can
So
take a
we have
question if
another question,
someone.
Sapna, from Fauzia,
Mhm.
and she's
Right.
saying, "What is the preferred position for breastfeeding?" We've covered this, but I think for benefit of Fauzia, if we can just share it once again,
Right.
is it sitting or
Yeah.
lying down? And can infants inhale air more in the lying down position? I think this is a myth that you need to break.
Yeah. Hi, Fauzia. So no problem in there is no preferred position. The preferred position is what you and your baby prefer. That's all. I have fed my baby even by walking because she refused to sit down, she refused to lie down. So, I've fed her walking also. So, like I said earlier, whether the mother is sitting, standing, sleeping, the baby is always in the lying down position. Baby is always like this. You can be lying down, you can be sitting, walking, whatever. Baby is still going to be horizontal and sleeping. So no, that's a total myth. You can continue to feed. If you have been feeding in lying down position, please continue to feed. There is no problem. There's no harm in lying down and feeding, right?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Divya, I was asking you, how long did you breastfeed? Yeah.
I was able to breastfeed for more than 3.5 years, and it was a very fulfilling journey. Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you, since we're on the road of busting myths, and you had fed for 3.5, 4 years. I have fed for 3 years. Did you hear about, these unsolicited advices that, oh my God, you should stop now. There's nothing in breast milk. You shouldn't feed for 2 years. You shouldn't feed for 3 years. 6 months, 3 months also actually.
Yes. Uh, yes, I think there was a lot of unsolicited advice, and people were saying, "Oh my God, it's already 2 years, and you don't need to breastfeed anymore. Why do you do it? Don't you feel, it's such a uh, big task? I think now she can do with cow milk and all that." And, and I was like, she will decide. She will decide the day she needs to wean off. She's going to decide it, and I'm
Right,
not going to push her to wean off so early, because I saw the kind of
right,
benefits it had. It also, it was like, for Vanshika, it was just not breast milk, but I think it was also the warmth of a mother, right? When she wanted to have get comfort, she wanted to latch. So
Right.
breastfeeding is just not about feeding a baby, it's much, much more than that. And after
Right.
3.5 years, it was her who decided that, she will wean off, and she stopped. So I got this a lot because, I was doing everything. I was breastfeeding at the airport, in the cab,
Yes.
in a bus, in the car. I've done a lot of breastfeeding in public, and
Right.
not covering, and I'm not carrying some kind of a cover or anything like that. Just my t-shirt and a good sports bra to help me do the two-layer method,
Right.
and that was my go-to method to feed her anytime and anywhere. And and that's
Right.
and I think, Sapna, that was the major reason that I never found my daughter too cranky, because the
Right.
moment she's getting there, we know it's time to latch. So yes, but I think people around me kind of slowly understood the point of view
Right.
also, and slowly
Think,
down to the choice that I had made. So
yeah. So
Surbi,
I'll tell you what,
yeah.
with breastfeeding for, a long time, um, there are actually a lot of things, when I think mothers need to themselves need to be sure of the benefits of breastfeeding for a long time. Once that has set in, it becomes a lot more easier to tackle outside people. Then it doesn't matter to you because you're doing the best for your child. The problem is when you start to doubt yourself. Oh my God, are they true?
Yes,
Is breastfeeding really not
absolutely.
helpful? Okay. And also, since you touched upon nursing in public, I want to say, please do not go looking for toilets or closed rooms to feed your baby.
Yes,
Okay. There is something called the two t-shirt layer, or even you don't need two t-shirts. Like if you wear a loose top, you can just lift it up. Your baby covers your body. If you'll need tips on how to do it, we can take it offline. But please, start practicing in front of a mirror, okay, and see, if you're really, some of us did not bother about how much skin is being shown. But if you're somebody who's worried about, how much skin needs to be, you want to cover up and all of that, fair enough. Please practice in front of a mirror, and then step out. Don't lock yourself. Of course, now with corona, please be safe. But otherwise, step out whenever you can, whenever you need to go, and don't bother about, oh my God, somebody's looking at me. That's not important. I think it is we people who have sexualized breasts. We have no problem when breasts are being shown in movies on, large posters. But the minute a mother sits down to breastfeed, and then everybody like, oh my God, she's not supposed to do this here. But from, I don't know, since ages, since when, mothers, the breasts are for breastfeeding. I think we've just, messed up the whole thing. And please remember, when you're sitting down to feed your baby, nobody is actually sitting down and looking, oh my God, she's going to show her breast, let me look. It
I've
doesn't
never
happen.
faced that.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the maximum will be like a fraction of a second that a little skin is going to be shown. Okay, in
Yes.
that case, I'll say don't bother. Yeah, these people are not coming to your house. They don't run your family. They have their opinions, or their eyes shouldn't matter to you. Okay, as long as you're giving it's food that the baby is getting, you're sorted. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then don't forget, about, just forget about all these people who want to continue to give unsolicited advice. You, after 2 years, if you think, okay, that I think, I want to, limit how much I want to breastfeed, and all of that. So the WHO recommendation is minimum 2 years of breastfeeding, exclusive for 6 months, and 2 years of minimum feeding. So after 2 years, what you can do is you can start talking to your child. Why they say 2 years is probably because the child can start conversing. The child starts understanding what you're trying to say, right? And then you can be like, okay, you know what? We just feed at home. We not feed while outside. They understand. It's only when you are harsh, and then then they're like, okay, oh my God, how can you do this to me? And then there's crying. Just imagine, no, somebody who's who's so used to So if you always have a coffee, you can't live without your coffee. You need a mug of coffee every day. And today I come and tell you, okay, you know what? From tomorrow onwards, no more coffee.
Uh,
Imagine you would bring the roof down. Yeah,
yeah, it can be traumatic for the child if it's not
it can
gently
be. Yeah,
handled.
that's yes. So you take it slowly, and then so if I'm having 3 mugs a day, you tell me, okay, you know what's up now? Now we are going to have 2 mugs a day. So there's a way to gently talk to the baby, whether it's weeding or whether it's reducing, I mean, bringing down your feeds or whatever it is. Please do it gently. There is no point in fighting and arguing. Put yourself in the baby's place. Imagine if you snatched away something that means the life to them, right?
Yeah.
So take it slowly, right? And like I said,
So
if you are worried about the benefits, please read up, talk to somebody, understand why breastfeeding is important for you and for your baby. Okay,
yes.
and then take a decision of what you want to do, whether you want to really listen to people and stop feeding, or whether it should be yours and your baby's decision, right? That is more
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. So our co-founder Surbhi, she just commented that why did I not meet you 9 years ago, busting so many myths that were fed to me.
I'm
So
so sorry,
relatable, Surbhi.
Surbhi.
We all we've all gone through it. Yeah.
Yeah, but Surbhi, you know what? I think you should be happy that you gave your 200% with whatever knowledge you had
Yes.
that time.
Absolutely.
And I think if you ever come across any mother, who needs breastfeeding help, I'm sure now you would be able to guide her. And I think that is more, that's a better way
Yeah.
to get over, if there's any guilt or, whatever is bothering you. I think every time you guide a mother, I mean, she's going to be thankful and you're going to be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Shweta, our another co-founder. So she basically is asking if there is any hard and fast rule till when you can
Mhm.
breastfeed. Is there any hard and
Um,
fast
so
rule?
like so like I said, the recommendation is exclusive for 6 months and minimum for 2 years. After that, see the average weaning. If you are going to say that okay, it's the mother and the baby who is going to decide, the average weaning globally is 3.5 to 7 years. So if you want your baby to let go, on its own, it's going to happen around that time. Of course, some babies leave a little earlier as well. Like mine left at 3 years. It was a self-weaning process. But otherwise, after 2 years, I think you can only start setting limits. Like, okay, we'll just feed to sleep, or we'll just feed when we are at home. So there's no hard and fast rule. But
Yeah.
it'll be nice to feed for minimum 2 years. But then in the end, we always say it depends on the mother and baby. What works for them is more important. Like I can sit here and force you to breastfeed for 2 years, but if that is going to take a toll on you, your mental health, and all of that, then it's not worth it. So yeah.
Yeah. And Sapna, also, if you can share what is exclusive breastfeeding, because I think even the word by itself is not
Very
sometimes
clear.
misunderstood too. And people
Right.
feel that you can give a certain water, a little bit of water, because the baby may be thirsty,
Medicine.
and
Oops. Sorry, my phone fell off. Okay. So I would say that, when I say exclusive breastfeeding, it means just breast milk, just breastfeeding, and nothing else. So
Yeah.
there's no water, no honey for 1 year, no Cerelac, and rice ka pani, and
Dal ka
some people give
pani.
Ayurvedic medicines, talka, whatever. Do not do anything for 6 months, right? Even after 6 months, you do not need to make special baby foods. You do not need to give Cerelac or anything of that sort. Continue to give what your family eats. Okay, just avoid, skip the salt and sugar. Spice is, depending on how much the baby can take, right? And continue, of course. So exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. For the remaining 6 months till the baby turns 1 year,
No salt and sugar till
solids are
one
going to
year.
be complete. Yes. And solids are complementary. So don't overdo the solids now because the baby has turned 6 months.
Yeah, and
Right?
don't
So,
kind of swap, right? It's not solids now after
yes,
6 months and then breast milk becomes less. It's not that.
No. So it is, main nutrition for the first year comes from breast milk, right? So only after 1 year, then solids slowly start to take importance. Till then, it's going to be breastfeeding. See, the reason why they're saying 6 months is one, the most important thing, not one, but the most important thing is because the gut of the baby's stomach, the lining, is still developing.
Yes.
Anything extra. So, and that lining is being developed through the help of colostrum and breast milk. So, anything
Yes.
else that you give can lead to infections. And that's the
Yeah.
last thing we want with a small baby, because we don't, I mean, the baby is constantly going to keep crying. You won't even know why the baby is crying, right? So just avoid all of it and stick to, breastfeeding. So that's what, when we say 6 months, no, somebody told me that, okay, we can give Ayurvedic medicines, it's okay. But no, even those has, nutmeg and, all of that. These are all harmful for the baby in the first 6 months. Anything but breast milk, right? So yeah, I hope that sort of
Great. Yeah.
answers the
Yeah.
exclusive part.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think we are closing down, and I think we are already an hour.
Oh no, it's over.
But
Why?
we could talk endless. We can talk for
Yes.
hours and hours. This is a favorite topic. Thank you
You're
so
looking
much,
very pretty
Sapna.
today, Divya.
Oh, you're always biased, I feel. Thank you. And
Okay,
you are,
quick minute. Anybody wants to put in any questions, please go ahead,
yes. Any
while we're
more
just
questions
shutting down.
relating to breastfeeding? Till then, Sapna, I just want to thank you. It was great interacting with you. And
Thank you for having
all
me.
I want to now ask you is there anything that you would like to share with the Onthia team, the founders behind it, and the kind of initiative that we've started? Would you like to share something with us?
I think y'all are doing a fabulous job. Y'all have such, amazing stuff. Y'all should make nursing necklaces. Survey, are you listening? Nursing necklaces, yes.
Nursing necklaces is a
I
very,
think,
yes, I think this is something we should think about definitely.
yeah. Also, I think, because I'm here for breastfeeding, so I'm going to say, please make neck pieces which are, breastfeeding friendly. So, the baby's hands don't get cut, and we can still look beautiful and pretty, and wherever we want to go.
I'm
So,
sure Surbi can do wonders there. So I'm sure she's taking notes there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure,
So
okay,
Sapna,
saris, of course. I
behind,
mean, to breastfeed
yeah.
in saris are, great. It's like a breeze. Yeah, you
So
were saying something. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
So, Sapna, I just wanted to share the initiative of Onthia is not just to, sell products, but also to celebrate women. That's what we are here,
Right.
and that's why we are inviting women like you who have been empowering other women, right? In not just one way, but
Yes.
in many ways. And this is what we believe. If a woman supports another woman, we can do wonders. And not sounding feminist,
Yeah.
but I think there's a lot of power that women can bring to their environment, and this is what we are trying to share with everyone. And I'm sure we have many other women that we would like to do lives with, and share how they are contributing to the society just like yourself, and making a better
Right.
place for everyone else. So this is what we're trying to
Right.
do. uh,
I think it's an
and
amazing initiative. I just want to quickly add, because you spoke about awareness and all of that. I just wanted to say I have a website where
Yes.
we talk about breastfeeding journeys of women. It's not only the good journeys. It is, if you fall anywhere on the spectrum, from the best journey you had till, oh my God, it was very difficult and I couldn't do it. please write to me. I would love to interview for you for my website. You can just ping me, or maybe let Divya know. I would love, because the thing is, we want to inspire more women to breastfeed. A lot of us do face difficulties. It's not that we have been able to feed for 3 years or 5 years only because it has been smooth. No, a lot of us have faced our problems. We have all fought through different stages. It's not that okay, even after 6 months it's been great. It's maybe some people have problems after 1.5 2 years also. So
Yeah,
yes, every story I think is inspiring. So please, if you have a story to say about your breastfeeding journey, please reach out to me, and
sure.
definitely we would want to cover you.
Sapna, also want to add,
Thank you for
just
having me, Divya.
feel free to drop in any links and your contact details onto the comment
Okay,
section, so that everybody who has been able to join the live or would be able to see that this live later can get in touch with
right,
you if they need any help.
perfect.
And yes, Vanshika is here.
I'll do that. Hi, Vanshu.
All right. So thank you so much, Sapna. It has
Thank
been
you so
wonderful,
much
and
for
I
having
can
me.
talk to you for hours and hours. And we will
Yes,
have you back with us very soon on a very different topic, probably hinting on something that most of the young people are going through is depression. And we today also had a news coming in of this brilliant actor who's just passed away due to depression. And I think we
right,
would love to
right.
hear your thoughts on that, and probably do another live session and understand how to cope with times when you feel that you've hit a dead end. So
Right, right.
yeah,
It was really sad, I mean, to read just before the live, but yeah, I think it's very
yeah,
important to address mental health. I think that's what's lacking. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Sapna. See you very soon.
Thank you.
And a
Yes,
big, big
take care.
virtual hug to you. I miss you, and I'm going to see you very soon. I just want this lockdown and
Yes.
the coronavirus to go away. And I'm going to see you very soon. Thank you
Soon,
so
yes.
much.
Take care. Yeah,
Take
bye.
care. Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.